Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Manscaped. The holiday season is here, and you can get 20% off and free shipping on some stuff to help make your own balls jingle. That's Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping. Use promo code Cowboys over at manscaped.com. Some super thanks coming in now from CJ DeYoung. I will make note, all the questions you see came within the 24 hours after the game, so we'll be nicer to them than maybe we'll give them the therapy session boost here. Typical Dak, typical Cowboys. This is what a team does for years now. Lame, lame, lame. We're going nowhere in the playoffs. Typical and predictable. That game felt a lot like the Niners game earlier this year, didn't it? Or the Rams playoff game too, right? Concerning. Super Thanks is a feature here on YouTube. Allows you to donate outside of live videos. Simply click the thanks icon, edit your message, and send in your support. Every Super Thanks we get, we will at least give you a shout out because we appreciate your support here on the Cowboys Report. From Marcus Arnold, thanks. Bland has one bad game and suddenly remembers he's a number 3 corner. He's having a great year. Keep trusting him. Risk reward is still working. I thought he was bad against the Commanders too. But yeah, it was bad against Commanders, bad against Seattle. That's been it. And he had the pick 6 against the Commanders, so we all forgot about it anyway. Which makes it kind of funny. Teams that have not thrown with the past 2 games. Bills didn't throw, period. But teams have not looked his way. That probably will change against the Dolphins because they can get Hill and Waddle going. Marcus Arnold, $5 again. This weather was not conducive for passing, hence the low production by both quarterbacks. The boys lost game because of the one aspect of the offense that has not been dependable all year. They cannot run the football. And then, of course, the defense can't stop the run. If I could change one thing about that game, doesn't it have to be your run defense? Because outside of your offense putting up 200 yards on the ground, or the quarterback, playing at that MVP level he was earlier this year, that's just to give you a chance of winning that football game. I tweeted out mid-game, you got to score 36 to win. And I think that would have been maybe too low because the Bills stopped trying in the fourth quarter. And they still dropped 31 on you or whatever. So the run game was a little bit better at points, but it just wasn't good enough at all. And that's what's so frustrating is that nothing worked. But that run defense, that's what was most concerning to me coming out of the game. Tyler Madden. Cowboys went out. This, by the way, came in before the Monday Night Football game. Seattle beats Philly. Baltimore beats San Francisco. Next best scenario. So, to be clear, even if Dallas, regardless of what happens in the Seattle Eagles game, by the way, regardless of what happens, you basically need the Eagles to either collapse here and lose a bunch of games or lose one against the Giants and the Cowboys win out the remainder of the way. In that scenario, you get the 2 seed. I would like the 2 seed because I don't think this team can beat the 49ers, especially on the road. I think it can beat Philadelphia. Not going to be easy, but you can. Until this team actually shows they can do it, I don't want to play San Francisco. You just do not match up well against them at all. So will the Cowboys win the NFC East? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comment on this video. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Chris B., if we got to play the 49ers, please just throw it all over. That's what's very frustrating to me about the 49ers. The best way to beat them is to run the football. They will let you. And the Cowboys have been unable to every time they play them for 3 years in a row. And what the Cowboys try to do is go yak game. They're gonna do the same game plan against Bills. They're gonna do swing passes and flats and slant flats, and they'll do comeback routes. And the Niners know it's coming, and they crush it. You got to try to attack the middle of the field, which is very dangerous because Fred Warner's out there. It's why you don't match up well against them. It's why you don't do it. And your defense has to stop the run too, which coming out of Buffalo, not great. Leroy Pearson Jr., I have to ask, what happened to all the players in motion? The play action passes, everything we were doing the last 5 weeks. The weather wasn't bad. The play calling shouldn't have changed. Leroy, I wish I knew. The number I saw from one of the guys who were blogging the boys was they ran one play with motion on the 3 drives after the first one in the first half, which was, of course, their better drive was the first drive in the half. I don't know. They just they got scared. It's the narrative coming out of the building has been, it's road environment. We have tougher time communicating. You can't communicate just to go in motion. You just go. But that's all you have to do. I don't get it. It's not that hard. I get there's some timing stuff with the center guard combination, but really? You are that scared? That's what it was. They were scared. What's going to happen when you go play the 49ers in the divisional round? You're going to be scared again? I don't know. Today's show is made possible by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping over at Manscaped.com when you use promo code Cowboys. It is the holiday season, and if you are looking for maybe a not-so-silent night, make sure you are using Manscaped. Producer Chris liked that one. A bit more under the radar of the implication there as well. Take care of your special snowflake with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and watch your South Pole shine. Okay, that one might be a little bit too far. Get the best stocking stuffer of all this holiday by going to Manscaped. Manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys gets you 20% off. Manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys, free shipping as well. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. Clayton Lockhart, for 3 years now, we have been begging the refs to make a call when Parsons gets held, and they continue to refuse. What more can we do to get a call? Niners fans with Bosa, other Bosa with the Chargers, TJ Watt, even JJ Watt to an extent, Aaron Donald sometimes too, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, they are all asking the exact same things. It's not fair, it is wrong, but the officiating crews do not give flags to the premium edge rushers. They just don't get them called. It is ridiculous that it's been 30-something quarters since Micah Parsons got a holding call. And it is blatant sometimes. One day they'll get one, and it'll be great. TKG. Now we face Dolphins in Miami versus Hill, Waddle, Tua, Achane, or Achane, however he's pronouncing it now. Mostert, that's a funny autocorrect there. And a team with a winning record also. Yay, sarcastically. Dolphins' speed is dynamic. Funnily enough, the Dolphins also don't have success against teams above 500. Something's got to break this week. From Tyler, how come Dallas doesn't run the 5D line formation with Micah at outside linebacker when it comes to teams that are effective at running? I don't see any flaw other than the team decides to pass it. I think that's not it's not a great pass defense look, but I think it shut down the Giants. Now that's a bad team, but it worked wonders against them. I don't know if I think that works. That would be my base when other teams are in base, which the Bills were in base and even heavy, and they just stayed in nickel. Now against Miami, I don't know how you're going to handle that. Against a team like the Lions, I would like to see that run. Miami, I think, will run too much 11, and they'll get creative stuff, and with their speed, you almost have to have the safety. That's why they're so tough to defend in general. But I agree. I think that Bear front has been useful at times. From Spencer, time to at least make Trey Lance the backup quarterback. Not going to be crazy guy and ask about Dak there. Fair enough. I think the reality is you made the deal for Lance for next offseason. See how he does in the preseason, figure out his value, long-term stuff. With that said, if you get to week 18 and you have nothing to play for, I'm putting Lance in. Because there's no benefit at that stage. I believe in the rust over risk mindset. I'd rather have my guys be, I don't think a not playing 3 quarters is going to kill you. I think that's a ridiculous mindset. I would not want to risk injury. So if you get to week 18 and you are out of the NFC East and you're locked in the 5 seed, play Lance. It becomes a preseason game, right? Go do it. So will Trey Lance play at all this year? A for yes, B for no. Sound off in the comments section. Chris B, how do we fix the run defense in the offseason? Get another Tank Lawrence defensive end. You need another run stopper on that side of the ball. Micah's not, or get Micah better at it. I don't know. Stop doing so much slanting stuff. Keep Golston at defensive end on rundowns. I think that might be a good idea. You find Fred Warner. Find a Fred Warner. Not easy to do, but that's not something that is easy to accomplish either. From Tyler, on the Kelsey podcast, Travis said opposing teams would wear the same colored gloves as their jerseys to avoid holding calls. Should Dallas do this since they've been the penalty boys all year? That's been a thing for a while. I think it's more of borders more on like the urban legend myth of like the refs can still see it. Like the refs are looking for the jersey moving. And if you're grabbing them like this, they're going to see the neck get exposed and everything. So but yes, also do it. Like it's fine. Like you've been terrible. Like you've been the penalty boys all year. So yeah, why not try it? Definition of insanity, right? Devin Swift, how do you fix the run defense? Don't know. Look, I think when teams are out of that, out of 11 and they're in, with a tight end and a fullback, et cetera, and a running back or two tight ends, like I would try to use that bare front personnel. That's like the five guys across the defensive line plus a linebacker, and I'm down to put Micah at linebacker there. I do absolutely think we have overvalued the idea of Micah at linebacker. He's actually been a bigger negative as a run stopper individually at linebacker than at edge. It's a 16% negative run graded play per PFF at linebacker, 10% on defense. But when you do that five-man front, you're getting an extra good run stopper, or at least better run stopper out there up front, because your safeties and linebackers have not been good against the run this year. By putting Micah back there, you're still upgrading that spot, and you have the fifth man up there. That's what I would do. Now, how are you going to stop the Miami Dolphins run offense when they're going to do 11 personnel and motion and a fullback that could be creative? I don't really know. That's going to be a very tough test. And frankly, I almost think they match up better if they go with the bare front against the Lions than you do against the Dolphins. But it's not an easy fix. The biggest issue is your safeties and outside contained guys have been terrible in these games. Your safeties are a higher paid group now, and they're not making plays. It's an issue. What is your confidence level in the run defense right now? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comments section. TKG, who is your Super Bowl matchup right now and winner? It's a lame answer, but Niners, Ravens, two best teams. Ravens defense has been really good. You'll get a match with that on Monday. I'm going to go with the Niners. Pains me, but yeah, give me them. Tyler, call me crazy, but I would rather trade Gallup if he continues to underperform and draft another Colorado receiver in Torrey Holton to replace him. You did draft Jalen Tolbert in the third round, so at some point you probably give him a full-on shot there. I would like to get some speed. More speed is a good thing. That's what the Niners and Dolphins have taught me. Speed is good, and game-breaking is good. Brokov, if we fail again, would you hire Ryan Day as the head coach? No, because you're dumping your NFL head coach because he hasn't won the big game enough to hire a college head coach who has won the big game even less. Pass for me. Also, the most damning indictment on Ryan Day, he had CJ Stroud, who was awesome, and didn't do enough with him. Huge red flag for me. We will be live for the Cowboys-Dolphins game, hopefully a much better result. So make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Chris B, let's be another heavy defensive draft. I would look at the offensive line. I think trench play in general is probably a good idea to go out there. Maybe a corner, maybe a receiver. You'll probably draft a running back as well, but I would go offensive line heavy. That would be my preferred plan of attack. If I were the Dallas Cowboys. It's tough to find guys, and they draft super well overall. So thank you, Chris B, and everyone else for your mailbag questions on today's show.